Hey, everybody. I hope the signal is good for everyone. Look, if the signal is breaking up a little bit, I have no control over that. We are on a cruise ship. We're on the Brilliant Lady somewhere north of Halifax. We left Quebec yesterday, but welcome to the show. I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. We are broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook and over on TikTok. Now, a lot of times the signal is better on TikTok. So if you're trying to watch us on Facebook or YouTube, signal's not that great, and you've got TikTok, maybe switch over to Where's Walter Travel over there. But good morning, everybody. I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. We book everything. We book cruises, land, luxury, expedition. And we're coming to you live from the very, very back of deck 15 on the Brilliant Lady. So right inside the doors is where the galley would be if you've been on this ship before. And then right above us is the sun deck. So we're actually on the pool deck right here. We're at the beginning of a 13-day voyage. Yeah, this is sea day number 2. So we've still got 11 more days on the ship. Oh my gosh. 13 total days on the ship. We have all kinds of time to eat. So we're exploring the ship. I'm going to eat everything, hopefully, on the ship. So yeah, you like that wake behind me, Kurt? Yeah. The ship actually slowed down. We had breakfast in the wake, and we were doing a really good clip when we sat down, and then we slowed down as the breakfast went on. So we'll be in Halifax tomorrow, then we'll be in New Brunswick, then Maine, then Boston, then we head down the eastern seaboard, and we will hit Charleston, South Carolina before we end up in Miami, Florida. So hello, everybody from the Brilliant Lady. If you've got questions about Virgin Voyages, about all things cruising, we're going to hang out here for about an hour. Yes, I'm wearing one of my winter coats because it's chilly. It's chilly up here. Hey, Bills fan, we just had a fabulous time in Canada. Had a great time up there. We just spent 2 nights in Montreal. We spent 3 nights in Quebec. It was absolutely stonking gorgeous, folks. If you've never been to Montreal or Quebec, you owe it to yourself to go and check out those 2 cities because they're absolutely gorgeous. We ate so much food. We did some fabulous history tours. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. So definitely encourage you guys to go and do that. Good morning. How are you? So we do have a small group on here. We got a group of about 16 folks on here. And one of our folks has just joined us back over there. Feel free to come on over. You can sit over here next to Rebecca. You don't need to sit all the way back there. So yeah, so if you guys have questions, if you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe, like, share, do all the wonderful things that all the social channels like you to do. And we will do our best to answer questions. Rebecca is all wrapped. Rebecca's never cold. So it must be pretty chilly here for Rebecca to be as wrapped up as she is. How are you, Patricia? Good, doing good? You had a nice dinner last night? Yeah. Yes. We had a big group dinner at Rojo last night. Let me tell you, folks, Rojo is legit here on the Brilliant Lady. That is the renovated razzle dazzle on this ship. As the ships go in for renovation, for dry dock, they are now converting razzle dazzle to be a unique restaurant on each of the ships, which is a great idea. So Scarlet Lady has the Lucky Lotus, which is an Asian-based restaurant. And then on here we have Rojo, which is a Spanish tapas-based restaurant, and it was amazing last night. Absolutely amazing. I'm so glad Rebecca got me some tea because it's cold out here. It is very cold. Hey, so we got Bills fan Kurt, Alex, Lynn. Oh, hey, Lynn. How are you? You should come on up here and hang out with us. I know you're probably warm inside somewhere. Alex, how's Canada? Canada was amazing, Alex. Well, so far. But we still got Halifax and we still got New Brunswick. But we had a lovely 5 days in Canada. You know, one of the things that I highly recommend, if you have the time and the wherewithal, when you're going on these cruises, try to go in early or at least stay a few days after, because you're spending the time to go to these places and then to really explore, you know, take some time. So we actually spent 5 full days in Canada. We flew into Montreal, spent a couple of nights there. Then we took the Via Rail, the train. Oh, what a lovely train ride between Montreal and Quebec. I recommend the business class. We did the business class. It was lovely. You don't need to, but it was a lovely experience. And then we spent 3 nights in Quebec, literally right next door to the Chateau Frontenac, which is that famous castle-looking hotel. Absolutely beautiful. So much food, so many wonderful people. See somebody, Nene, you can't wait until April when your husband and you are on the Brilliant Lady. I tell you, anybody coming on the Brilliant Lady, you are going to have a beautiful time on this particular ship. This is the fourth and the newest ship from Virgin Voyages. And as of the moment, the last one, we don't know. There could be another one coming. But as of right now, we don't know anything about any future. So, hey, Darla.
One thing I will say is, even if you've looked at all the menus in the galley or the restaurants, look again, because they are starting to switch up the menus.
They are.
Like the noodle around has different noodles than it has had on any other ship.
Yeah, so all the restaurants, so Virgin is finally refreshing all the menus. So what's been your favorite so far, Patricia?
The eggs, Florentine and Taco Bell.
The eggs Florentine at Taco Bout It. Yeah, so all of these places up here, they do breakfast. In fact, they do breakfast ramen. How cool is that? But yes, she's absolutely right. The eggs Florentine at Taco Bout It. Now, the thing about the galley, though, like Taco Bout It, ramen, and then the panini place, they're not open in the evenings. I have been pushing Virgin Voyages to say, ramen, come on, that's a late night staple. Why is at least ramen not open for dinner, right? It should be. But so the egg Florentine, excellent. I will say the oxtail in Rojo, you know, if you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like oxtail. It's like really soft roasted beef. Oh, my God. So freaking amazing. Darla, happy Sunday. It looks too cold for you, but a reposition from LA to the East Coast would be cool. How long is the average repositioning trip? Well, that's a very interesting question. I don't know that there really is an average because there's so many different kinds, but my guess would be between 9 nights up to like pushing 20 nights, depending on, you know, where you're starting and where you're ending. This particular one is 13 nights. We started in Quebec. We will come all the way down to Miami. Now, if they wanted to, they could do it faster. I mean, we could probably get down there in 8 days, 7 days. But, you know, it's a full Canada-New England cruise. And then it's then we're going to come into the South. Now, by contrast, the Queen Mary on Cunard, the Queen Mary 2, she does the transatlantic crossing in 6 days because it's just a straight shot. That's all it is. That's what that ship is doing, going straight across. So if you want to do transatlantic in a hurry without flying, then you do Cunard Queen Mary. But I would say, Rebecca, would you say it's about right? Say 9 days for a short repositioning, maybe up to 20-ish. Like, I know I booked a client, I want to say it was 22 days. It went from Tampa all the way up to Vancouver or Seattle, one or the other. And that was really cool. That was a nice one. But I would say between 9 to 20 days, depending on the length of it. And as I said in the video earlier today, if you are doing a repositioning cruise, and even if you're starting in the U.S. and you're ending in the U.S., you must have a passport. You cannot go on those cruises without a passport. Doesn't matter if you start in New York, you end in New Orleans. You start in New York, you end in L.A. Start in L.A., end in Florida. You have to have a passport because the ship is transporting you from one port to another. There is a law from the late 1800s, still in effect today, that says that you must have a passport if the ship is transporting you between two destinations. But you should have a passport anyway, because the passport opens up everything. It literally opens up the entire world, right? When you got a passport, you can go anywhere. You're not limited to those closed loop. You know, the closed loop cruises are nice. There's a lot of them. But, you know, it's kind of nice if you can open up your horizons a little bit and do some different cruises, go out and try out some different cruise lines and things like that. So, good morning. Hi, Rick. Yeah, it looks a little cool out there. I don't know what the temperature is here because we don't have like a thermometer on the phone. But I would guess it's somewhere in the 50s right now. That would be my guess. And we're parked here because the breeze is blocked. There is quite the breeze going on right above us. I was going to park myself up above in the sun, but there was quite the breeze, and then there was a lot of television noise going on, so we decided to come down here instead. So how many times have you been on Virgin now?
6 times.
6 times? Wow. So why do you keep coming back?
I like the atmosphere. It's relaxing, very relaxing.
Uh-huh.
And the food is awesome.
So she said the atmosphere very relaxing. The food is awesome. And of course, the crew is amazing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, some of the best coffee. This is tea. but some of the best coffee at sea is served on Virgin Voyages at the Grounds Club and the Grounds Club 2, which if you've been on the ship before, Grounds Club 2 is now turning into a bar. Scarlet Lady and now Brilliant Lady both have the bar setup, which, by the way, my favorite whiskey was there. They have Jefferson's whiskey. I'm so excited. I'm going to get an old fashioned later with Jefferson's whiskey because I love Jefferson's whiskey. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So, and if you don't know, Virgin Voyages, it is adults only. You got to be 18 years old just to come on the ship. So if you're looking for something where you want to get away from the kids, this would be, this and Viking are really your two choices for adults only when it comes to ocean cruising. I don't know of anybody else that's truly adults only other than this. Yeah, yeah. So folks, if you've got questions about cruising, about Virgin Voyages, about vacations in general, feel free, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Rebecca and I will do our best. I wish you could see what Rebecca looks like right off camera. She is all bundled up. It's chilly, but it's not like that cold, I don't think.
I'm trying to keep my head warm.
Yes, trying to keep your head warm. There you go. Now, one of the things, you know, I've been on Virgin Voyages about this too. If you're looking at the Brilliant Lady, there is a new cabin category on here. It is called the slightly smaller sea terrace. And the reason why they had to do that is because this ship, unlike her sisters, can go through the Panama Canal. They've got to pull the lifeboats in very tight to go through the Panama Canal. And in order to do that, they had to make the balconies a little narrower. What they don't say in the descriptions whatsoever is that these are obstructed balconies because they are right behind the lifeboats. And what I noticed, and I will show you this in a video later, the lifeboats to me are sitting higher on this ship because they're not swung out over the side quite as far, so they're sticking up a little higher. So they are really, if you are right behind that lifeboat, it is blocking your view, like completely blocking your view looking out. I picked the cabin that I selected on purpose. It's the very last sea terrace at the very back. So we have an unobstructed view looking back.
Well, the very last slightly smaller.
Yeah, the very last slightly smaller sea terrace. And that's one of the things, like as travel agents, that we do. We kind of look at the deck plan and go, okay, where can we get, you know, a better view, even though you're going to have obstructed. But this is something to be very aware of. If you're going to book that slightly smaller sea terrace to get the two hammocks, these are obstructed view. These are not unobstructed view balconies. So, and if you're up on deck 9, the balconies are basically right at the floor of your cabin. So they are definitely lifted up higher on this particular ship. The lifeboats are definitely lifted up higher on this ship than they are on the sisters. So just something to know about. And it's one of the reasons why we come on this ship. And it's one of the reasons why we booked this particular stateroom. Rebecca and I booked that slightly smaller sea terrace because we wanted to see what it's all about. And it's a great cabin. The cabin itself is exactly the same as all the other sea terraces. It's just the balcony very narrow. If you haven't seen the video yet, I have posted a video of it to show you. But hey, Sue and Phil are here. You're finally home after 34 days. Wow. 34 days. That beats us. We've been gone for 30 days. When we go to Italy next year, it will be even more. And folks, while I'm waiting for some questions to come in, let me, let's see, Alex, have we been able to enjoy any of the shows on A Brilliant Lady? So we just got on, Alex. This is only our 3rd day. We have not seen any shows yet. We're going to try to see 2 tonight. What are we going to try to see?
Out of Time and
Murder at the Manor. Right. So Murder at the Manor is a murder mystery show in the Manor. And the venue only holds about 250 people, so it's very tight. And then the Red Room is doing the new Out of Time show. So we're going to try to go see both shows tonight. You got to line up about an hour early as of right now.
Oh, and we might even try and see the Diva Goes West this afternoon.
Oh, yeah. The Diva Goes West is this afternoon. Oh, my God. What's her name? Dixie? Wow. I don't know. She looks like she's 7 feet tall with the heels. She is tall. Wow. I saw her yesterday standing out by the coffee place. Oh, my God. That is a tall person. That's a very tall person. If you're watching me on TikTok, sorry about the vibration. The ship had just picked up a little speed. So I see that the the camera's vibrating a little bit. Hey, Warren, how are you? What is the best way to get extra shipboard credits? There's a couple of ways. One, sometimes us as a travel agent, we may have offers. Like there's one particular cruise line right now that I can offer you $300 to $900 in onboard credit just for booking with me. It doesn't matter which voyage you book, and the long, like a 7-night, you get 300. A 14-night, you get 600. Anything longer than 14 nights, you get $900 onboard credit. And that's only because you would be booking with me. Sometimes just by booking on the ship. Like for example, here on the Brilliant Lady, they had the My Next Virgin Voyage, and it costs you $150 to buy this certificate. And when you turn around and book the cruise, depending on how long your cruise is, you can get up to, I believe, $250 now of sailor loot. So and then you got to be careful sometimes. Like some of these cruise lines, like there's a certain cruise line with a big anchor and a crown. I'm not going to say who they are, but you can probably figure it out. Where they offer shipboard credit all the time. And it's like, $100 shipboard credit, $200 shipboard credit. But what they're actually doing is you're paying for it. So if you look at the rates again after the shipboard credit goes away, you're going to notice the price just dropped by $100, by $200. So you got to be careful of what I call like quasi shipboard credit. But working with a travel agent, we can usually help you find it. But those are two ways to get shipboard credit. One, and plus we try to wherever we can. We can't do it every single voyage, but wherever we can, we do try to add some shipboard credit for our client or something else on board as a thank you for booking with us. That's a great question. Is it a swinger cruise as all adults? Absolutely not. That is such a misconception. So no, this cruise is no different than any other cruise right now. The only difference is we don't have kids. So what's really cool about not having kids, one, we don't have kids. So we don't have kids running around. Number two, we don't have to worry about like conversation that we might be, oh, is there a kid around? No, there's no kids around. Number three, we don't have to wait till 10 o'clock to do the adults only, comedian show, the 18 plus comedian show. You don't have to wait till 10 o'clock. They can do the show at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's just literally, it's just adults only. Everything else. So you got adults only. All of the restaurants are included. The Wi-Fi is included. The soft drinks are included. The group exercise classes are included, and the gratuities, while they've broken them out, you can still have those included as well, just the same as always. So right now on this particular ship, because we're on 13 days, so it will skew older because, a lot of young families are not going to come on a 13-day cruise. Plus, we're going from Quebec to Miami. It's not a round trip. I would guess the average age 60, 62, somewhere on this particular sailing right now. I'd say typically with Virgin, it's actually probably around 45 to 50 anymore with Virgin, because so many people are migrating over here. They're getting tired of being nickeled and dimed on every other cruise line. They're just getting tired of the kids getting in the way. Just not ruining their vacation, but sometimes you're trying to go in a hot tub and there's 25 kids in a hot tub. That's not very enjoyable. So yeah, this is just a fabulous cruise line. John, great question. What is the best cruise line when traveling the British Isles, and is August a good time to go? Rebecca, do you have any thoughts on the time of year?
Well, it's a limited window. It's usually maybe late May to mid-September at the latest.
Okay.
So the window, that's it.
Yeah, that's basically going to be the window. I don't know that there is a best cruise. So it's a loaded question, and I get this a lot. What's the best for this, that, or the other? Princess offers outstanding itineraries. Holland America offers outstanding itineraries. Azamara, I believe Oceania. So it's really what is the best for you, because they're going to be longer. How long do you want those port stops to be? That's the thing. Sometimes with the mainstream cruise lines, you have shorter port time. And when you go with the smaller, maybe the more luxury cruise line, you have longer port stays. So it's really what is the best ship and the itinerary for you. I will say that Azamara tends to have the best overall itineraries. They just have the best itineraries in the business. They're absolutely amazing. They have the most overnights. They have the most longest stops in a place. So those are amazing. I think even Virgin might do some sort of, it's not like truly the British Isles.
They don't really. No.
They don't do it yet?
They might touch on the British
Yeah.
Isles, but no.
But John, I mean, my recommendation is to reach out to a travel agent. I mean, obviously, we'd love to help you. Where's WalterTravel.com. But if you have a travel agent that you work with or that you've worked with in the past, because really it comes down to, what are you trying to get out of it? How long can you go? And then we put together a package tailored just for you. We've sent quite a few people on British Isles cruises. We've sent them on a ton of different cruise lines. So there really is no best cruise line or really anything. It's just what's the best cruise ship and the itinerary that works for what you want to get out of it. So yeah, I would either certainly reach out to us, where's WalterTravel.com, or reach out to your local travel agent and talk to them about it. Great question. Great question. The British Isles are absolutely gorgeous. So let's see. Well, hello. Hi, Dave. How are you? Now Dave's over here. How are you? Are you the train person? No. Train? You do model trains? No. Somebody with model trains is in our group and they dropped off something. I'm trying to figure out who it is. Let's see. Phil. A note on us. So Phil and Sue are noting that if you have not seen the news, Norwegian, Oceania, and Regent Seven Seas are now merging the loyalty levels where you're basically getting a status match all the way across. It's the same as Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and Silver Sea. So they've introduced this thing. Sue and Phil are noting that Oceania has done away with a free cruise after 20 cruises. They just got off Oceania and that was missing from a new loyalty. I mean, things are going to happen. Things are going to change. Loyalty program. We've had a lot of discussions about loyalty programs lately, especially with Carnival. All I'm going to say about loyalty programs, and I think this was very good of Norwegian to go ahead and set that up because they are all owned by the same cruise line. Carnival is not the last one that's going to be changing their loyalty program in that way. I'm not going to say they're all going to be a pay to play, but you're going to see more cruise lines make some changes to encourage you to come back on the ships rather than just locking you in at a certain level because there's just too many people at those top levels. So, Robert, you are very kind. If you have not booked with Where's Walter yet, do so. The personal service is above all. Thank you and have a great time. Robert, you are incredibly kind. Thank you. We try. Look, we're not perfect. We're not perfect at all, but we try our hardest to book the best ship, the best itinerary. Sometimes not even a ship. We just booked an amazing what was it? We booked the Norwegian Fjords, but it's not a ship. It's a land tour. It's 12 days, I believe it is, and so this is like completely different. So we don't always just book cruises. So. There we go. Got it. So yeah, so we don't just book cruises. So sometimes a cruise is not the best thing for you. Sometimes there's things that you want to do because the thing about cruises, it's a good sample. It's a good sample thing, right? You can kind of sample Boston, you can sample Quebec, you can sample this, you can sample that. But if you really want to go deep into it, well, you got to go on land. You got to spend a little bit more time, kind of like what we did in Montreal and Quebec, spending a little bit more time there. So good morning, Nurse Tara. How are you? I'm sorry you're not here with us. You and Bahar should be here with us right now, enjoying some more oxtail from Rojo. So how are you? Is this your first time on Virgin Voyages, right, Dave?
Yeah, it is.
How are you enjoying it so far?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, everybody is so friendly. The ship is so relaxed and chill. They got different settings for everyone. It's nice.
So our client Dave, he's a virgin, and he's saying that the ship is just very relaxed, chill. Everybody's so kind. It's a very social ship. You get to know so many people because there's so much seating everywhere.
It's more social than most ships I've been on.
See, and that's exactly what we tell people. He said the brilliant lady is more social than most ships that he's been on. Somebody asked earlier, isn't it a swingers cruise because it's all adults? No, it's a very social ship because we don't have kids running around interrupting conversations and doing all this other stuff. We can just be, relax and enjoy. Perfect. See, I didn't even cue him to say that. He just said it perfectly. Nicely done. Nicely done. David says, my wife will not cruise. I'm so sorry, David. Do you know of any cruise lines that sell solo cruises? Yes. The one we're sitting on right now. Virgin Voyages has solo interiors. They have solo ocean views. Of course, the Norwegian Cruise Line has a whole slew of solo staterooms. Princess, while they don't offer no solo supplement, they surprise us a lot with really good solo rates. And if you start stepping up into the luxury, Crystal has solo, Explorer Journeys has solo. So there's quite a bit out there, David. If you just want to reach out, we'd be more than happy to help, set you up with a solo cruise. No problem. Hey, Jerry, how are you? Hey, Kathy, how are you? You're taking your family age 14 to 77. How lovely, KY. That's awesome. I love that. It's, cruising is a great multi-generational way to travel. There are so many cruise lines out there. And, if you got this whole like you got 14 through 77, I mean, we got Carnival, we got Norwegian, we got Royal Caribbean, we got MSC. So many great ships out there that, the adults can go do, what they want to do. The kids can go do what they want to do. Maybe you meet up for dinner. So, it's a great multi-generational way to travel. And then when you just want to get away from the kids, well, you come on Virgin or you go on Viking, one or the other. Stacy, I'm sorry you had a bad experience with Norwegian Cruise Line. Of course, like everything else, you can have a good experience. You can have a bad experience. All depends on the ship, the sail date. With the food, it all comes down to the executive chef.
Well, and food
then
is
also
very subjective.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, food is very subjective. But of course, there's also the expectations. I don't know what your expectations were, what ship you were on. I find with Norwegian, like the main dining room and the buffet, you're not going to go hungry, but they're not exciting. Let's put it to you that way. But typically, the specialty dining is usually on point. May not be perfect, but it's usually on point. So I'm sorry you didn't have a good experience. But fortunately for you, there are so many cruise lines out there. There are well over 350 cruise ships out there right now, and we've got another like 85 being constructed as we speak. So you got a lot of options out there. So,
and I think we've been on Norwegian 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And while it may not be our favorite cruise line, we will, and we are going on them again.
Yeah, we're going on them again in April. Yeah. So Norwegian typically doesn't have the best food out there, but it does depend on the expectations out there too. Phil is asking, oh, Alex, thank you. Alex says that we treat our solo travelers well. Well, we have a solo traveler right here. Yay. Do we treat you well? We try. I didn't even pay her for that. She said, absolutely. So there you go. But thank you, Alex, for that. We really appreciate the kind words. Rebecca and I try. October 22nd will be 3 years for Where's Walter Travel on October 22nd. So we haven't quite been at this for 3 years. I believe we're going to be celebrating our 3rd year in a row as a top 100 sales agent for Virgin Voyages. We do love this brand, the great brand. They've treated us extremely well, even when we were just getting started. So I thank you for that. But October 22nd will be our 3-year anniversary. So we're almost going to celebrate it on the ship. So Megan, you just booked the Star of the Seas for April. You've done many royal. Should I do unlimited dining or the main dining room? Great question. First of all, great ship. Oh my God. I spent a week on that ship with Stephanie. We had so much fun. Main dining room on Royal Caribbean, I'll be honest, we never went to it during the entire week. I'm not a big fan of Royal Caribbean main dining. We tried it on multiple ships.
But there are people who do.
There are people who love it. I think it's weak. So we didn't even go. There's so much free food available on that ship. I did a 3 specialty night package on the Star. We did Giovanni's, we did Hooked, which Hooked actually was not as good as Symphony. We did Azumi, we did the teppanyaki, and then we did do one more. We did a 4th one that I paid for it. I'm blanking on it. Just in general, Royal Caribbean, not my favorite main dining room. I actually like the Windjammer more than the main dining room. So that's just me. Stephanie did have unlimited dining, and she took advantage of that. I mean, she really took advantage of that. So with that many restaurants on the ship, unlimited dining does work on that ship because you have so many choices to choose from. So yeah. Yes, Kathy, we will see you in April. Suzanne, thoughts on the new Star Princess? So we sailed on the Sun Princess. Beautiful ship. Oh my God, the new Piazza is so big and so beautiful. After were you on the Sun, right? You were on the Sun as well, David, right? That Piazza, huge, and it is the heartbeat of the ship. It is the lifeblood of the ship, and it's going from about 9 a.m. Yeah, 3 stories. I think the first event starts about 9 a.m. The last event ends after midnight. So it's literally going all day. The dome is still a gimmick. The dome was just kind of a joke. And I know I actually had Princess get mad at me for saying that, but it is. It's kind of a gimmick. I don't like the dome.
And I think they've stopped doing shows in there.
Yeah, oh yeah, they killed the shows because the shows were just nah.
It was too hard to get in.
Yeah, it was impossible to get in there. But overall, I thought the Sun Princess was an absolutely gorgeous ship. We did a cove balcony, which I love. Those are the ones that are under the lifeboats. Very different experience being down there because it's almost like being on the water. You did come up here. I know, it's silly. Huh?
Brought her blanket.
Yeah, she brought her blanket too. It's chilly out here. But no, I think the Star Princess, especially if you are into specialty dining, it has so many restaurants on it. That's a good ship. Sun and Star are good ships for Premier, Princess Premier. If you really want to try all the various dining, because there are so many restaurants on board, you can hit them all. So yeah, I think the Sun and the Star are great addition. My favorite ship is still the Sky. That's a Royal class ship. That's still my favorite Princess ship of those. So yeah, thank you, Kathy, for the congratulations. Ellie, you do nothing but specialty dining for dinner on Royal Caribbean. You do the Windjammer for lunch. And you know, a good tip for lunch is also, you know, Park Cafe, which is in Central Park. That's a great little spot. And now Azumi has that walk-up window. Now you do have to pay for it, but they do have that little walk-up window where you can get sushi and things like that. So for lunch, I was going to Park Cafe. Plus, when you're on the Icon class, you've got Surfside Bites in the back. I mean, yes, it's for kids, but it's comfort food for adults too. Stephanie and I were kind of going to town back there too. We could not resist it. It's so much fun going back there. Alex, Norwegian. Does Norwegian give you the C card in the terminal, or do you pick it up in the cabin? I have no idea.
I think it may depend on the ship.
Yeah, it may depend on the ship and the embarkation location. You're going out of New York, like Royal Caribbean, they were waiting at the room. So I'm not really sure, Alex. You have to wait. Eric, thank you for the comment. As a solo traveler, I find Walter and Rebecca to be outstanding. You are very kind. Thank you. And Eric, we're going to see you in a couple of months in February, going to Hawaii. Shanley and her pugs. I love that handle. You love Princess Cruising. You're going on the Enchanted in January. So we got a whole group going out on the Enchanted next week. Actually, this coming weekend. I don't know. I have no idea what day it is. But October 11th, Tony is taking a whole bunch of people out on the Enchanted. So, Suzanne, you're going on the Star to Alaska next year in a cove balcony. That should be very interesting from down there. Hey, Amazing Adventures, how are you? You're going on the Liberty in 6 days to Bermuda. Fun. Megan, I'm glad I was able to help. Yay. Philip, after how many sailings on Carnival do you get the red card? The red card is the first card, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, the red card is the first card. So I don't know. I don't keep up with loyalty programs because they all change.
And they've made all these changes.
Yeah,
so.
they made so many changes. I really don't know. But the red card is the first one you get, and then it goes to blue, I think.
I don't know.
Anybody do Carnival here? I don't know. No, okay. No, I don't know. Anybody on here know the order of the Carnival cards? Mac Daddy, you just got off the Enchanted, loved it. Amazing Adventures. What's the best cruise to go to Hawaii? Again, another one of these best. So it's very hard to give you a best. It's always the best for you and your and your needs. So really going to Hawaii, if you only want to do Hawaii, well, you got one choice. That would be the Pride of America from Norwegian. You fly to Honolulu, and then you do the island. They also have a land sea. I think it's like 10 or 11 days. So if you want to do a land sea tour, just like Alaska, you can do that. But then if you want to do a round trip Hawaii, you can go from LA on Princess. I believe Holland America does it from San Diego.
Princess also does it from San Francisco.
Princess also does it from San Francisco. And then
I
some
think
of the luxury
Carnival
lines.
does it from LA too.
Royal does it from LA? Carnival does it from LA. And then some of the luxury lines will do it as well. Usually from like LA, San Francisco, or San Diego, somewhere in there. So there is no best cruise. It's which one do you want to do? We happen to choose the Enchanted Princess, or excuse me, the Emerald Princess. Going to be 16 days from Los Angeles. That's the one we went with. By the way, if anybody wants to join any of our group cruises, I haven't been flashing them up on the screen or anything, but just go to where'swaltertravel.com, go to group travel. All of our group trips are there. The one that has just like taken off like crazy is our Christmas Markets River Cruise that will be in December of 2027. It's going to start in Basel, Switzerland, and it's going to go up to Frankfurt, Germany. I think we have 52 people already on the ship. The ship only holds 150, something, or 140. There's only 67 staterooms on it, and we have over 20 of them already. So yeah, we got like 1/3 of the ship already. So if you want to go on any of our group cruises, we've got Hawaii coming up in February. We've got Italy coming up in October of 26 on Celebrity. We've got the Christmas Markets Cruise coming up. Oh, this Christmas, we have the Queen Elizabeth out of Miami. If you don't have Christmas plans for this year, we got a 12-night cruise on the Queen Elizabeth, round trip Miami. It's going to be beautiful. I'm going to get a tuxedo as soon as I get home. I'm going to go order a tuxedo for that one. And we also have the Christmas Markets Cruise. We have the Philadelphia Cruise with Tony and Jenny B out of, so it's out of Philadelphia on the Norwegian Jewel. That's going to be April 16th. And then at some point in 2027, we also have a Holland America cruise that we're doing.
February. I forget exactly when.
February 27, we have a Holland America cruise. So go to Where's Walter Travel, go to the group travel section on the site, and you'll see all of the cruises right there. So, Philip, you just got off the Carnival Glory, and now you booked your second cruise on the Freedom. I love the Freedom because she refuses to have a whale tail. She burned it off twice. She doesn't want it. I hope they don't ever put it back. She's just like, nope, I don't want it. Crews are much feedback for the VAT tax in Italy and Spain ports. You're going on NTL out of Rome, and it's terrible. Well, it is what it is. I mean, the local ports are going to charge taxes. You got to pay the taxes. There's no way around it. And don't think for a second that the cruise lines are ever just going to go ahead and pay that for you. They're going to pass it on to us. So yeah, it's going to be something. Oh, thank you, Amazing Adventures. Is blue then red? Okay, blue is the first card, then red. Thank you, guys. I don't keep up with the loyalty stuff. So sorry. There's so many changes. There's so many different ones. I wish they would all kind of do it the same way. It'd be so much easier. So Amazing Adventures. You're sailing on the Star Princess to Alaska next June as well. So yep. You're taxed 10% on. So here's the thing. You're saying that you're taxed 10% on drinks and specialty dining while in port. That happens in the U.S. too. If you are in port, like in Florida, well, I don't know about Florida. I think Florida
Miami
does it.
You are, sure.
Yeah, Miami, in Galveston, and in New York. In New York, they actually put the signs up.
Sell it.
So they charge you extra taxes when the ship is in port. Almost every single port. Well, maybe not in the Caribbean. Some of those Caribbean ports, they may not do it. But when you're in a lot of the U.S., like if you're in New York, Florida, or Texas, or L.A., there's extra taxes being added onto your drinks. So yeah, that is going to happen even here. That is not unique to Europe. That happens everywhere. So
it is more prevalent there, but
yeah. Horace, is the key worth it? What a great question. Oh, and I'll get back to you, Belle. I just saw your question. Horace, is the key worth it? You're talking about Royal Caribbean. What Rebecca does is she will track the Wi-Fi pricing on Royal Caribbean. And if the key gets close to it, then we'll go ahead and book it because the Wi-Fi is included with it. If the price is real, I mean, I don't think the lunch, personally, I don't think the lunch was worth it. The only good part about the lunch was you get to go to the main dining room versus having to go up to the Windjammer. The best part of the key for us is being able to drop off the bags. That's fabulous. So you get on early, and then you can drop your bags off. Whatever bags you're bringing on the ship, you can actually drop them off versus bringing them around on the ship with you. So, but basically, Rebecca's rule of thumb is if the key and the Wi-Fi are getting close, then she'll go ahead and book it. Because it is a nice little perk to get on early, and it's a really nice perk to drop your bags off. So thank you, Bell XR. I love the comment. I'm glad you like the hat. Yeah, I got this. Actually got this when we were in Victoria on our Canada cruise, on our Alaska cruise on the Oceania Riviera. And you want to know where in the world are we sailing right now? So yeah, you're seeing the beautiful wake behind us from the Brilliant Lady. We're somewhere north of Halifax. So we left Quebec 2 days ago, and we had a sea day yesterday. We have a sea day today. We'll hit Halifax tomorrow. So we're somewhere northeast of Halifax, somewhere. You guys all have plans in Halifax? Yeah? Dave, what are you doing in Halifax?
We'll go to a bus ride and a short tour around to that.
Peggy's Cove?
Yes.
Okay, so Dave's going to Peggy's Cove. You got anything going on, ma'am, tomorrow? Hop on, hop off bus. Okay, we're doing like a full 8 hours, best of Halifax with lunch. So yeah, we will be gone the entire day tomorrow. Yeah, so that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Let's see what else. I'm trying to get all the questions. Horace, what is my opinion about Explorer of the Seas? So that particular ship we have not been on. We have been on a Mariner, who is a sister to that. I actually love that class of ship. I think it's just the right size. It's not too big, not too small. It does have the Royal Promenade. It does have the ice skating rink, so they can do the ice show. It does have the flow rider in the back. And the theater is big enough that they can do some of the bigger stage shows. So I like that class of ship. I think it's the Voyager class. I think it is a great size ship that it has a lot of what Royal Caribbean is known for, but without being, 6,000, 5,000 to 6,000 people. So that is a nice thing. Yeah. By the way, do you guys have any questions? I got my studio audience sitting here, freezing their butts off with us out here. Yeah, and don't feel compelled like you have to sit here with it, because I'm the idiot sitting out here in the cold. And folks, if you're just joining us, I see it's 12:15 on the East Coast. I am Walter, your independent travel agent with Where's Walter Travel. We book your cruises, your land, your luxury, your expedition. Our services are truly 100% free to you. We do not charge any fees for our services. So just reach out to where'swaltertravel.com. There are links. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. There's links in my bio. There's links in the description. There's links. Or just go to where'swaltertravel.com. Please like, share, subscribe, do all the wonderful things that everybody likes. If you're wondering where in the world we are sitting at the very back on deck 15 of the Brilliant Lady, Virgin Voyages Brilliant Lady. This is an adults-only cruise line. You must be 18 years old just to come on the ship. So the one thing we don't have here, we have no children. No children. I don't mind children. When you're on Royal Caribbean and all those other ships, I don't mind the kid. But it is nice. And it's something that you cannot describe. All of my clients say the same thing. Like on day 2, they're like, it just feels so different not having the kids around. There's it's an intangible thing. So amazing adventure. You were looking at MSC from Barcelona to Italy round trip. Is MSC a good cruise line? Very good question, especially MSC in Europe. So MSC in Europe, somebody, you said you're doing a hop-on, hop-off bus. It's kind of a hop-on, hop-off cruise line in Europe. If you look at their itineraries, you will see that almost every port stop is an embarkation, debarkation point. So when you go on MSC in Europe, on many of these itineraries, like literally every port, there will be people lining up to get off the ship and people lining up to come on the ship. And to me, that would kind of drive me a little crazy because it's not like what you're used to, right? Everybody gets on the ship, we all cruise together, we all get off the ship together. It's almost like, I don't want to call it a ferry, but it is almost more like a ferry operation than it is a cruise operation. Really great for Europeans. They can literally get on the ship anywhere they want, get off the ship anywhere they want, unlike here. So that is the only caution that I give about MSC in Europe, is that understand the itineraries and understand that every time you come to a port, you're going to have all these announcements, people leaving the ship, all these announcements, people coming on the ship. That would drive me a little bit crazy. So it's not my first choice for Europe. I don't know that we've actually booked anybody on MSC in Europe. I think everybody has been in the States, in the Caribbean or Galveston.
Interested, and then kind of not once they see what it's.
Yeah, we've had clients interested in MSC, and then once they understand how the itinerary works, they're like, yeah, I don't know if I would like that. Having people getting on, getting off, having all the announcements at every port and all that good stuff. So, hey, by the way, folks, we're partway into this. I always forget to say, if you're trying to ask me questions about Virgin Voyages on TikTok, you can't use the word Virgin, even though they have this huge TikTok channel. You got to use the letters VV, or you got to use the name of the ship. So sorry. I apologize, even though we're on a Virgin Voyages ship right now. If you're watching on TikTok, just use the letters VV. So sorry about that. Let me just, I'll come back to you in a second, Horace. Where are we that it is so cold? We are just north of Halifax. We're out in the, I guess it's the Atlantic Ocean now. So we're in the North Atlantic, so it is chilly. I would guess that it's in the 50s right now. So yeah, it's pretty chilly. So Meredith White, you're going on the Liberty of the Seas. Well, are you going on the Carnival Liberty, or are you going on the Liberty of the Seas? You say you're going on Liberty, because there's two Liberties out there, so I don't know which one. We've been on, if you're talking about Royal Caribbean, we've been on the Freedom of the Seas, which is a sister. Really enjoyed it. It's a good sized ship. Has a few more things on it because the ship is bigger. But you got your Royal Promenade, you got all your restaurants, you got your shows up front, you got the flow rider up top, you got the water slide. So it's really, really fun. It's really, really fun. So it's a Royal Caribbean. Yeah, so so based on our Freedom of the Seas, really fun ship. Really fun ship. I think you're gonna have a great time. Kathy, thank you. Can I tell you about Star of the Seas? Star of the Seas, yeah, we were I was on it. When was I on that? Like 2 months ago now? About a month. Oh, right, the first week of September. Yeah, a great ship. I mean, I like the Icon class more than the Oasis class. I've been on the Oasis class. I think the Oasis class has some dead ends. The flow isn't quite as well. They really cleaned up the flow on the Icon class. I love the Pearl Cafe just blows away. Cafe Promenade. You can now get from the Promenade up to Central Park and back. You don't have to go all the way around. You can very easily get from Central Park back to Surfside. You can walk across deck 6 above the Promenade. So if there's something going on the Promenade, you can still get by. You don't have to walk through the crowd. I think the restaurants are better on the Icon class. I just think everything about the Icon. The Icon class is not just a reinvented Oasis class. I mean, they really thought it through. I just love the Icon class ship. I really do. I would take the Icon class and the Voyager class, personally. That's just me. Beautiful, beautiful ship. And Back to the Future was a lot of fun. It was the best ice skating show I've seen on any ship. Man, they had these extreme skaters. They're doing ramps and flips and all this stuff. That was super cool. And the Aqua show was ridiculous. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, Star of the Seas and Icon of the Seas, two great ships. What's the best cruise line to go Europe to Barcelona? That all depends on what you're trying to do. So there are probably about 30 choices. There is no best cruise line to go to Europe from Barcelona. There is the best ship for you, and then we base that based on what you want. There's Princess, there's Holland, there's MSC, there's Norwegian, there's Viking, there's Virgin, everybody, Oceania, Azamara, Explorer. There's so many ships. So there's no best cruise line. It's the best one for you. So do we come into Nova Scotia, Halifax? Yes, we will be in Halifax tomorrow. Waters look choppy. Not really. No, it's really smooth.
It's the wake behind him is, I think.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's really, really smooth.
The white stuff is all just the wake.
Yeah, it's just a wake behind it. But yeah, no, it's actually really smooth out here. It was choppier earlier. The whole back of the ship was really going up and down. So, let's see. So somebody was over here. I am so sorry. Horace, there you are. I'm sorry. you're looking at doing a Virgin Voyages cruise, looking at a suite, if it doesn't break you, what is our recommendation? So on Virgin Voyages, you absolutely want to come on with a sea terrace for your first time, I think, because that hammock is so phenomenal. Does everybody, what do you guys all have? You guys all have sea terraces? I can't remember. What do we think of the hammock? Right, right. The hammock. Once you come on here, you're going to go on every other ship and go, where's the hammock? Why don't I have a hammock? And that's a very good question, to be honest with you. Why don't they have hammocks? Because obviously Virgin's doing it. So if you're looking at a suite, a Rockstar suite, my favorite is actually right below us. It is the Cheeky Corner suite. It's the one that wraps around the side. If you look at the back of the Virgin Voyages ship, there are only 3 suites across the back. You got a Cheeky Corner on either side. You got a suite aft suite in the middle. And because the angles as it goes up, the balconies get larger as you go higher on the ship. So that is my absolute favorite. I think that's the best. I think it's the best one on the entire ship. I mean, if you want to get the massive suite up front, yeah, that's 2,400 square foot balcony, whatever it is. But I think this is amazing. But I mean, just even getting a seriously suite or a brilliant suite, you know, whatever works well for you would work. But yeah, all the suites are great. You do get your own bar. If you get a Rockstar suite, you're going to get your own bar. The first round is on them. You know, you got your liquors, you got your cocktail set, the whole fridge is full. Of course, soft drinks are always included. And then if you go Mega Rockstar, it's a bottomless bar. They'll just keep refilling it as you go. So yeah. So yeah, you really can't go wrong with a Rockstar suite, and you get your Rockstar agent and all that. Ping Pong wants to know, is Disney Cruise Line still very high on my list? It is. Extremely high on my list. So it's the price tag. It's very high on my list. That's the only reason why we haven't gone on more Disneys. I am jonesing to get on that Disney Treasure. It is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. But here's the thing, you know, if you have a family, you got multiple kids, you got multiple folks, there is not near as much to do on a Disney ship for the kids outside the kids program as there is, say, like on a Royal Caribbean, you know, where they have the slides and the flow riders and all this other stuff going on. So, you know, depending on what all the kids want to do, Disney is still a premier cruise line. The food is amazing. The characters are there. The service, unbelievable. So they are still a premier cruise line, but they're still not the best cruise line for everybody. I think they're a great cruise line for adults only. They have adults only areas, and the specialty restaurants are adults only. They do not allow children into the specialty dining. I think for brunch, they might allow like 14 or something like that, but for dinner, it's adults only. So yeah, it's still a very, very good cruise line. So Warren is suggesting that we go to the Titanic Cemetery Museum in Halifax. We may be stopping there. We're on an 8-hour tour, so I don't know. Yes, Costa also has sort of kind of a hop on European. Yeah, the European cruise lines work differently than the American cruise line. Although I will say, like Royal Caribbean and I think maybe Princess, they have some cruises where you can get on in either Civitavecchia or Barcelona. So I know Royal does it for sure because I booked that one. So, Darla, you're going to contact us soon to book your San Juan hotel before you explore a Caribbean cruise. But you want to do Norway in a nutshell land tour in 2027. So reach out. Yes, please do. That's one of the things that we offer as a full service travel agent. You know, some people say, well, what's the difference, you know, between a travel agent and booking through the cruise line? Well, we can do everything. You know, we can literally book, you know, the entire cruise. We can book the hotel. We can book the flights. Most of our clients will book their own flights because a lot of y'all like have points and things like that. And you know, we encourage you, if you got points and you got a way to get a flight cheap, yeah, by all means, go for it. And even with the hotel sometime. But yeah, Darla, please do reach out. Do reach out. Somebody asked about the Liberty of the Seas. Annette is saying they were on it in August and they had a fantastic time. Never had to wait in line, and the staff was wonderful. Thank you, Annette, for that first person report. Darla, we got you a great deal on Explora. Yes, we did. You know, you just have to hit it right. You know, you just have to hit it right with the deals and the onboard credit and all of that. I mean, we can't offer that for everybody, but we do try. We just, I had a 2-week period there where I saved clients somewhere like around $10,000, $12,000 over like multiple cruises. In fact, we had a group, Tony's group, in April. Norwegian went in and redid the whole group for us because the prices went down. So
Well, the interiors and oceans.
the interior rooms, yeah. So we don't always get you the best deal, but we try. We try. You know, at the very least, you're not going to pay more than what you pay with the cruise line. And when you book with us, you're supporting a small business, because if you book with the cruise line, they just keep the commission. The commissions are all built in to all the pricing, so the pricing is exactly the same. So, Horace, you're definitely liking the Cheeky Suite. Yeah, the Cheeky Corner Suite on Virgin Voyages, to me, is the best suite on the entire ship, I think. Anyway.
And they've added more furniture than we have.
Yeah, they added more furniture out on the balcony that was supposed to be there when we went. I know. Alex says he's going to miss his hammock on the Norwegian ship. I know. I mean, every cruise line can clearly put the hammock out there because Virgin's doing it. So everybody could do it. What I don't understand, so I just mentioned the Cheeky Corner Suite. Why don't they have 2 hammocks on the Cheeky Corner Suite?
I can kind of understand why cruise lines with children might not want them, because I think there's a higher chance of injury.
Well, there you go. Rebecca makes a good point. When you got the stupid kids, when you have children on the ship, you can't do the same things that we can do when we have adults only. Not saying that adults are always smarter.
No.
Because we have had some, situations on the Virgin ship that prove that adults are not always smarter. But there are certain things that they can do on these ships that you just can't do on a family, on a ship that has to appeal to everybody. And that's one of the things, Virgin doesn't try to appeal to everybody. Virgin is who they are. They are who they are. They're very open and welcoming. I think it's one of the most come as you are. We don't care who you are. Just come on the ship and enjoy it. And they will treat everybody the same. It goes back to my video I just did. Are you too old for Virgin Voyages? If you think you're too old for Virgin Voyages, you might be, but you're not. As long as you're young at heart, you enjoy hanging out with your fellow cruisers. If they wonder, it's a big ship with a small ship feel. I mean, they do call it a mega yacht. And there's 2,700 people on a little over 2,700 people on this ship. It is over 110,000 gross tons. It's actually a good sized ship, and a similar sized ship in another livery would be carrying about 3,500 guests. But Virgin purposely did not overload the ship. The one thing that you really notice when you look at the ship is the interior rooms. When you look at the deck plan, there's very few interiors. That's where they load up all the other ships, hundreds upon hundreds of interior cabins that are not on this ship. And they purposely did that because they don't want to overload the ship. Right now, they're a victim of their own success. We are having some longer lines for the shows. Like, you got to wait about an hour to get in line for the shows. They're a victim of their own success. They're filling the ships now. And when they first launched, they had reservations for the shows. I'm hoping that they're going to bring them back. I'm hoping that they're going to bring those reservations back, because it will make it better. So, yeah. All right, what time is it? So we've been at this for an hour already. Wow. So I'm going to go Rebecca, you look like you're cold. I'm going to go another 30 minutes. I'm going to give everybody like the full 90 like we usually do. I'm hanging. You guys don't, feel free, if you want to go. You guys have questions? You guys have questions? Studio audience is stunned. They're so amazed by me. They're just stunned into silence. It's just unbelievable.
One thing I want to say about Virgin is that as you go from one front of the ship to the other, the music changes.
You notice that?
You'll have a little bit of rock music here. In the galley, you've got a peppy music. Then you go to another area, it's like
yes. Dave actually noticed one of the key features with audio on this ship. In fact, if you go back into my live streams, I did a 1 hour live with Jeremy La Rochelle. He's the head of all music and audio on the ship. What Dave was noticing is that as you walk through the ship, the music changes. Like, you walk from the aft area into midship, the music changes. You move forward, the music changes. You move into another venue, the music changes. It's like Disney World, very much like Disney World. You walk into Adventureland, the music is this. You walk into Fantasyland, the music is that. And they actually designed it that way on purpose. So it just kind of sets a tone, a mood. And it also, reinvigorates your senses rather than just monotone music going on and on and on and on and on. So, oh, Nene, you saw that video. Yeah, so his name is Jeremy LaRochelle. I met him on LinkedIn, of all places, and said, hey, would you mind coming on the show? And he said, absolutely. So it's a great 1 hour conversation. He's sitting in his studio, and we talked about the live bands that come on here, because I don't know where he finds these bands. The live music on this ship, on every lady ship, is phenomenal. Whether it's a solo artist playing a guitar or it's a full-on band with 5 or 6 pieces, and you're going to have Latin, you're going to have jazz, you're going to have blues, you're going to have rock and roll, you're going to have classic rock. You might even have a little punk thrown in there. It's like every genre of music is represented on this ship. And they're just so good. And they're people you've never seen on any other ship, because they don't go, a lot of the other ships, they go for the same bands and the same act, or they create an act out of nowhere. They don't create acts. It's one thing Virgin doesn't do. They will not create an act. They go find these bands playing in these little places. And most of these bands don't want anything to do with the cruise, because they know about the cruise line. Oh, no, I don't want to go on a cruise ship. I don't want a cruise ship. And then Jeremy convinces them to come on, and then they don't want to leave. Then they enjoy it. So like Slam Adams, who is a phenomenal blues player, he was basically in retirement, and they got him to come out of retirement to do the shows on here. So yeah, Rebecca is packing it up. She's heading out of here. She's done. She's done. Maybe I'll get her for the next one. It'll be warmer when we do the next one, because we'll be further south. But it's cold up here, people. It's I'm shocked that Dave and the gang are all here, hanging out. So Lily, you doing all right? Yeah, you're under your blanket over there. Yeah, it is absolutely. As you can see, it's a beautiful day here. It's just cold. It's just cold. So by the time we get down to Miami, we'll all be in shorts. We'll be sweating. We'll be missing this. Yeah, but right now it's cold. So this is what are we? Let's see. So we're doing Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Maine, Boston, South Carolina, and Miami, right? Did I miss anything? I think that was it. We got a bunch of sea days. So this is 13 days total. Horace, can you do special dining more than once on Virgin Voyages? So depending on the length of the cruise, I think for the 7-day voyages, they only allow you to pre-book 1 dinner in each of the venues and 1 brunch in each of the venues. When you're on longer cruises like this, I believe you can book 2 dinners. Were you able to book 2 dinners in each venue? 3 pre-booked. So this is a 13-night voyage, and Patricia just said she was able to book 3 dinners in the same venue, 3 times. So it depends on the length of the cruise, and things are all changing. By the way, so today's October 5th. If you book by the end of the day, October 7th, doesn't matter what room you book, you will automatically be able to book your dinner 60 days in advance. They're going to grandfather you in. You can have an interior, you can have a sea view, you can have a sea terrace, you can have a suite. They're automatically going to grandfather you to 60 days in advance to book your dinners, and the suites will automatically flip to 120 days. So, there's some incentive. In order to get that 60-day booking window after October 7th, you're going to have to book premium. So for those of you who are on the ship, maybe you want to go down and book something now, so you automatically get that 60 days. So yeah, Alex wants to see the studio audience. I'm not going to turn everything around. And the studio audience is very comfortable. But if you want to come over here and let them see you, you're fine. Or, yeah, I'm getting this. They're just letting me stay on camera because, I'm the idiot that just sits out here in the cold. But I got a cup of tea. And I'll remind you guys, so I would love to have you guys come join us. Just like these fine folks are here. So we had over 200 people 2 weeks ago on the Brilliant Lady for a Bermuda cruise. This week, we've got 16 folks with us. We knew this was going to be a smaller one just because it's such a long cruise. But, we've got cruises to Hawaii. We've got cruises around Italy. We've got a transatlantic crossing from Italy over to San Juan. We've got the Christmas market cruise in 2027. We're doing Christmas this year on the Queen Elizabeth. Have you guys been on Cunard at all? Anybody been on Cunard? No? Anybody watching been on Cunard? Do you have advice? This will be our very first Cunard cruise. So we're doing Christmas this year on Cunard. And then we have Holland America in February 27. That's a 12-day Caribbean. So we got all kinds of group cruises available. Just go to our website, where'swaltertravel.com, click on group travel. We would love to have you come. I love it when I get to meet you guys. You know, we talk so much, but I never see you guys. You all see me, and it's nice when I actually get to see you. It's my favorite thing about doing this. Annette wants to know, what is my favorite restaurant to eat at the Brilliant Lady? That's easy, Rojo. Oh my God, Rojo. So good. Right behind that be Pink Agave. And then you kind of throw everything else in the mix. My least favorite on the last voyage was Extra Virgin, but we're giving it another shot. We're giving it another shot. So yeah, so we're gonna give that another shot. But Rojo by far is my favorite on the Brilliant Lady. Yes. Are we on the inside passage? Because I'm dressed in a jacket. That's good. That's good. No, we are closing in on Halifax. We're north of Halifax, Nova Scotia. We started off in Quebec, Canada 2 days ago. This is our second sea day in a row, so we're on our way. So this is a 13-day repositioning for the Brilliant Lady, the Virgin Voyages Brilliant Lady. We are doing basically Canada, New England. Then we go down the eastern seaboard. We're going to stop off in Charleston, South Carolina for a day, and then we're going to go on into Miami. Right now it's cold. It's in the 50s. When you see me in a couple days, I'll probably be in shorts, shorts and a t-shirt. So yeah, that's where we are. Let's see. Looking forward to the La Lita Loca Philly cruise. So am I. So am I. Hey, Bart, how are you? Oh, you're just passing your island of Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Yeah, I don't have the, one of my favorite things to do on a ship is to get Cruise Mapper. I don't know if you guys have the Cruise Mapper app. It's a really fun app. Anybody who's cruising, just look up the app called Cruise Mapper, and then you can search for your ship, and you can literally see like right where your ship is on the map right now. Like last night, I noticed that the ship was headed the wrong way. We were headed north for a little while. I think they just had to stall for a little bit, or we had an emergency that they never announced. Usually they would announce an emergency, but I noticed that the ship was going the wrong way last night. We were going north, but now we are definitely going south. So, but yeah, hey, Bart, good to see you. Oh, what do you got? What do you got?
That's where we are.
Is that where we are? Look at that. So yeah, so we're right off Cape Breton and Sydney. Let's see. Show that to you. There, I'll show it to that camera. That's where we're at right now. And then it's going to be backwards on TikTok, but that's where we are right now. So yeah. Half the time I can't get Google Maps to do that, so I'll do it on Cruise Mapper, see where we're at. So yeah, Extra Virgin is usually good. Now the last 2 times I've been to Extra Virgin on Resilient Lady, Brilliant Lady, had a terrible steak. Both times it took almost an hour for the entree to come out, and both times the steak was completely cold by the time it came out. And at that point, like after an hour, it's like, yeah, no, you don't have to make me another one. I'm just going to go. We went to the pizza joint. Because that's the one thing about a cruise. If your meal isn't the best, there's always some place to go. And that's what we did. So we went on to somewhere else. But I have become very good friends with the CEO on here, Nirmal. He's like the best CEO ever. And we actually talked about, I guess, my dinner experience got back to him. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Virgin Voyages headquarters is very much like the ships. Okay, if you're wondering what it's like to work for Virgin Voyages, look at the ships. The headquarters are very similar. They're really cool. They're in the Fort Lauderdale area. Really cool headquarters. I was not surprised at all. I'm like, yep, it looks like the ship. Very cool. Thank you for the safe travels. I appreciate that. See any other questions down here? All right, folks, we're probably going to wrap this up in just a little bit. So if you got any last minute questions, we'll come back. We're going to do another live for sure. Horace, I'm going to dispute you on that. Horace is saying that Virgin Voyages is hands down the best pizza. I'm still going to give the edge to Princess. Princess, Alfredo's Pizzeria, and sometimes Slice Pizzeria. It's phenomenal as well. Virgin is very good. I would say the very first time I came on Scarlet Lady and had that white truffle and egg pizza, that was one of the best pizzas I've ever had in my life. Since then, Virgin's been changing some stuff with the pizza. I will say the pizza on Brilliant Lady is the best pizza I've had since then. So MSC pizza, very good as well. The one in the buffet where they make the fresh pizza up there, that's a very good pizza as well. But I'm going to give Princess, I'm still giving Princess the edge. Now, my Holland America rep, she's like, you got to get on Holland again because they've totally changed their pizza. And she claims their pizza is better than Princess. They have a little rivalry going on because, you know, Princess, Holland, they're both Carnival brands. So, yeah, so it's kind of a fun little battle. Yeah, if you're going on MSC in December, the pizza is in the buffet. It's like in the back of the buffet. It is really, really good. Really, really good. Craig says what keeps you from cruising are the packed ships. I don't know what to tell you. The ships are built for the size, you know, for the amount of people that are on them. If you don't want to go on a ship with, like right now we're on a ship with 2,700 people. Really, the only places where it feels, yeah, there will be some crowds in there, and then people lining up for the shows. Other than that, there's plenty of room to get around. Like the Star of the Seas, really, the Icon class is a great example because those ships are designed to carry 7,000 people. It is so, everybody is so spread out. There is like no lines anywhere on those ships. It's truly remarkable. But if you don't want to go on a ship with a big crowd, well, and I don't know what you mean by every time you see the decks they are packed. If you're talking about the pool deck on any cruise ship, yeah, the pool deck, it's going to be completely full of people on a warm day. That's every ship, everywhere. But if that's how you're basing your experience on a cruise, that's just one aspect of it. That's just simply the pool deck. But it's not everywhere on the ship. Plus, if you don't want that many people on a ship, then you go on a smaller one. That's all. We have ships with as few as 125 people on them. So if you want to go on, if you don't want 2,000 people, you don't want 1,000 people, I can put you on a ship with 900 guests, with 670 guests, 500 guests, 350 guests, 125 guests. So cruising is big. It's not just, oh my God, the sun deck is completely jammed. That's not all of cruising. That is the bigger ships, and that is what happens on the sun deck on a sea day, on a lovely day. Yeah, they're going to get crowded. But you know what? There's all kinds of other places you can go that are not the pool deck, even when they're crowded. So, for example, like on the Icon of the Seas, remarkably, even in the middle of the day, you can find loungers on the Icon or the Star of the Seas. They have so many loungers up there. But there are different places where you can go if you don't want to hang out with all those people. So, yeah. So there are always places to go to. On Norwegian, they have a very small pool area for the amount of people on there, and I still don't get it. So we tend to go down to deck 8 where there's smaller crowds and hang out down there. Have we booked anything to Antarctica? Absolutely. We booked. So there's 2 different kinds of Antarctica cruises. There is the expedition where you're actually going to get off the ship and go explore. You leaving? All right, I'll see you in a little bit. There's the expedition cruises where you have the opportunity to get on a Zodiac, and then you go make the landing and you step up onto the ice and all of that kind of stuff. And then there's what I call the drive-by cruises, like Holland America has it, where you're going to go down to Antarctica and you're going to go by and you're going to be able to see it with your binoculars and your zoom lens, but you're not going to get off the ship. So there are 2 different kinds of Antarcticas, and we book them both. We have great relationships with, you know, Herdegruten, Silver Sea, Viking does it, Ponant. Ponant has like the most amazing icebreakers you've ever seen, like the most luxurious icebreakers you've ever seen. So yeah, so if you want to talk about Antarctica, absolutely reach out. If anybody wants to talk about any kind of cruising, that's one of the big things that we do, Craig. You know, you say, look, I don't want to be on a packed ship. So we go ahead and we match you up with the right ship, the right itinerary. And that's one of the things that, you know, working with a travel agent, we can help you make sure that you're getting the best opportunity to enjoy your first cruise. If you've never gone on a cruise because you don't like what you see on a lot of the videos, then we'll work with you and make sure that we get you on the right ship. So yeah, would absolutely love to help you out. where'swaltertravel.com. If anybody wants any help, where'swaltertravel.com, just reach out. We would love to help you. And I think with that question, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Craig, your 2 cruise ideas are Antarctica and Alaska. Those are outstanding cruise ideas. Alaska, we have booked well over 250 cruises and cruise tours to Alaska in the last couple of years. So if you want to talk, absolutely reach out. One more question, Dave M. Any plan for the port stop in Charleston? We have 2. We're going to do a food tour and we're going to do a ghost tour. We are so ready. So the food tour, we booked through Get Your Guide. That's going to be an independent. And then the ghost tour, we booked through Virgin Voyages because the tour ends at all aboard time. So when you're having something that ends at all aboard time, you got to make sure you do it through the cruise line so that they wait for you. So guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to the studio audience for today. Yay! Maybe it'll be warmer. I'll get a bigger studio audience next time. One of the things I try to do with these live streams, I try to stay out of everybody's way, and this was a good spot to get out of everybody's way. Everybody's enjoying their vacation. I don't want to mess up their vacation by doing a live stream. So, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. We should be back next Sunday, I think. Just watch. We'll schedule it. Maybe we'll be back up on Thursday night as well. But we will be back from the Brilliant Lady over these next 11 days that we will be on the ship. If we can help you in any way, just reach out. Where'sWalterTravel.com. Our services are truly 100% free to you. But wherever you are in this amazing world, have an awesome day, everybody, as I do my Kermit the Frog imitation. Yay! Have fun, everybody.